Good evening, Dr. Rajiv.
Good evening, Priyanka.
How are you today?
Welcome to the show from a wintry Delhi.
Oh, welcome to the winters as well then. It's getting cold, but today we're speaking to somebody who's an inspiration and who talks about resilience. So resilience it is, and I guess it's the resilience to cold then, for starters.
Yes, absolutely right.
I'd like to introduce our work with my favorite opening lines, and that's also to remind the people who watch our work. We're building a space so that there is always somebody to turn to. Conversations, power nuggets, studies, insights, toolkits, learning management system, and a lot more so you can commit to own your future. Today, we're wanting to start with the power nugget. Dr. Rajiv, what are we talking about?
Well, like always, this time again we have a power nugget which is sort of speaking to what we stand for in our show today. And let me start by saying something very fundamental. Success is not final, and failure is not final either. It's the courage to continue that really counts. And I repeat that. It's the courage to continue that really counts. And ladies and gentlemen, today on the OYF show, we have such an amazing inspirational personality who's going to be we're going to be talking to, that we all will realize that success and failures are two small words. And what really matters is your ability to keep coming back again and again. And it all starts with resilience, and resilience has a trait to own your future, is what we're going to talk about. And before we do that, I invite our special guest today. Priyanka, let's have a short video before we introduce our special guest today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as promised, we have a special guest today, Shrenik Shah. He is a superhuman being. Let me start by introducing him like that. Because what he does, what he has achieved for himself, and what he leads through his inspirational life is something that every person must learn from. I think it's unfair to say that he is a symbol of resilience, because he's much more than that. He is a person who has probably experienced challenges in life. He is a stage 4 vocal cord cancer survivor, survivor to the core. And I'm so honored and privileged that Shrenik Shaji has chosen us to be here with us today. And we're going to speak to him today, talking about the quality and the trait of resilience that's so vital and critical to own your future. Thank you very much, Shrenik Shaji, for joining us today. And we are honored to have you here.
Thank you, Rajiv and Priyanka. To be precise, next 1 hour is going to be a fascinating moment, fabulous moment for me because you know you invited sound of silence. Without this, it's sound of silence. So you have invited sound of silence to speak to the world. So thank you so very much for your very kind, wonderful invitation to be on OYF.
Thank you, Shrenik ji. Uh, as we begin our conversation today, I am very curious and very intrigued, like many of us who are watching this show now and would be watching this show over whenever they get a chance to do that, is how were the days of Shrenik ji when he was growing up? What was Shrenik ji when he was growing up? Where was he? What was he doing? And what was it like? Just walk us through your early days, Shrenik.
Actually, Rajiv, when person is growing up, you know, it's like addition of the age, like 50, 51, and so on. I am into reward cycle. I am going back, and you will be amazed to know that I am only 25, married, two sons, two daughter-in-laws, and two grandsons. So 25 is a quarter of the century. That means I still have another 75 years to reach.
Absolutely, and I think that's so true. Uh, it's so fascinating to hear that life begins where you want it to start with, and that's something which is so fascinating. And age is probably just a number. Uh, Excellent. What you say is so true.
So I'm intrigued about what were growing up years like. Was it like all of us who went to a school and had maybe if you want to talk about your formal education because that's really where it all starts for all of us.
Yes, absolutely. See, basically, I'm from Ahmedabad, and uh, Gujarat. I mean, in those days, studying in Gujarati medium was a standard format during our time, and you'll be surprised. I learned English for the very first time in eighth standard, because I mean, I was the youngest to my parents, and so Gujarati medium was a standard protocol across everywhere. So I learned writing, learning alphabet, and writing alphabet in four liners, not in the eighth standard. And well, now the rest is the history. I did my graduation in English medium. Yes, right from 72 to 96. Yes, 96, 24 years. I was involved in a family business, and you can say I was 100% family man, businessman, and international traveler. Uh, you know, the way in which people are traveling between two cities in India. I was traveling from India to Europe, US, South America, so there were more than 200 trips. I've been to more than 37 countries. And yes, I am into marketing business. So जैसा मोदी साहब का slogan है ना, जो बोलता है वही बिकता है. So I am following Modi साहब as well, and especially I'm using this voice. देखिए, I'm very simple, straightforward, common man. लेकिन मोदी साहब बोलते हैं तो उनको बोलना नहीं पड़ता कि इज मिस्टर मोदी, सबको पता चलता है. बच्चन साहब बोलते हैं तो किसी को बोलना नहीं पड़ता है. लता मंगेशकर जी, लता मंगेशकर जी, if she is singing, nobody has to tell who is she. So I mean, it is all God's grace that I mean, believe me, there is no regret. On the contrary, I am grateful for this voice. Otherwise, without this, I mean, I would have still remained family man, businessman, and so on. So this is
Yeah.
altogether
Yeah.
absolutely new avatar and new life. And I would say, humble to say, I am kind of into innovator phase where I love to add value every other day.
So, if you don't mind me ask, how did you build that support system that helps you thrive? I like it. I really appreciate you for saying this is a new beginning, and a little away from what most of us have been taught to plan. So, how did you build that support system around you, which helped you thrive with with the special.
You know, uh, I mean, during our schooling time, primary school, we have been taught a like A1 and so on. But
Yeah.
in my dictionary, a like acceptance. So once you have acceptance, then all those on four sides, four corners everywhere. Those are simply open. I mean, you can add momentum whenever and wherever you want, and so acceptance is the first key. And then on top of that, you have to complete with the confidence. देखिए मैं एक आपको छोटा एग्जाम्पल मैं देना चाहूँगा. You must be familiar, or you might have tried the veg, some veg delight, that is some veg. And it is a kind of a multigrain bread, cheese, and some of these stuffs. So exactly, I'm doing the same thing. I have blended acceptance, courage, dedication, contribution, gratitude, and that's what my life is like, just like some veg delight.
Interesting. I think when you speak about the veg delight, it's a very interesting example of some basic value systems that are important to build what it takes to sort of deal with the different situations of life. Uh, just in continuation with what you just said, uh, through the journey that you're going through with the device, with your treatment for the your stage 4 cancer that you sort of went through, I'm sure there would have been a lot of other related systems that had to be created, your doctors, your support staff, your helping people at home, and all that stuff. So what was it like to build that ecosystem? What is it like to sort of put that come together, and that continues to sort of be part of your journey as you sort of continue to move forward now?
Uh, Rajay, I would like to explain this in a bit different manner. Of course, I had no habit of tobaccos, smoking, no, never smoked, strict vegetarian, and non-alcoholic. But somehow I got diagnosed, and I was not suspecting cancer at all. I had a severe breathing problem. I lost my weight. I was unable to lay flat on my bed all the time. I was living in a standing condition, and since there was no other habit, I really don't know how this happened. But the situation was terrible. I would say I had literally and shake up there. I was literally drowning in the swimming pool to breathe. And actually, when I was diagnosed, there was a tumor on the top of my trachea, that is windpipe, that was blocking to breathe, and that caused me a huge problem. Now, answering your specific question, when I went to cancer surgeon, or rather, I was asked by my physician to visit cancer surgeon. uh, the approach, my approach, and approach of my wife Neelam was very simple. It was as simple as bringing the car to the garage for to the mechanic. That's it. Doctor said that I suspect that you are having a cancer, and we can come to know only after this copy. So we said very simply, tell us when do you want me to get admitted. He said, you really don't have much of the time. This is what he said. So next day I got admitted. My scopy was done, biopsy was done, And Rajesh, do you believe me? At that time, there was no Google, there was nothing doing, and we just opted for the treatment. We did not ask single question to the cancer surgeon, or rather, we never opted for a second opinion either. For me, for me, it was two 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 factors. Number one, acceptance, and number two, survival. अगर अगर जी गए तो फिर अपना सब कुछ संभाल लेंगे. That was the simple approach, and so without any hesitation, without consulting not anyone, even within the family, except except my two sons, I just underwent the surgery. Of course, my surgery was done in two parts. One first was biopsy and tracheostomy, and then second one was massive surgery. It was for about 9 hours, and that's it. But as I said, it was like what Priyanka asked earlier. For us, it was a simple aim for acceptance. That was the key element for whatever I could manage to do it, and that's it. And of course, the support from the family. And yes, I must admire, and especially those who are listening this this session, especially medical professionals taking meticulous and swift decision for the patient is the best option. Doctors are left with, yes, they are treating patients every day. For them it is a routine, but the value of their swift decision, meticulous procedure, that means a lot to the patients and caregivers and family. So I would urge that, medical students, especially who are pursuing into medicine or surgery, taking swift decision, meticulous decision matters the most.
Yeah, I think you said something very important here about uh, making your choices, choosing a path that you believe is built on trust, built on the fact that you're making sure that you're handing over your yourself to somebody who's a trained practitioner, and then believing in that. And I think there's a lot of lessons to learn out of that in terms of that. And what you said in the end about taking swift action and taking responsible actions is equally important. I think having understood that and having seen the ecosystem that you created for yourself around it, tell us more about the work that you do now. What are you involved in? Because we keep hearing about what you just said, that there is uh, you are a motivational speaker, you inspire others, because everything that you do today is an inspiration. And that's something that I totally admire, and anyone who sort of comes in association with you respects you for, and is in awe for, to be very honest with you. uh, Having said that, tell us something about what you do, and what are the various activities that keep you busy, focused, as you continue to inspire people around you.
Uh, Rajuji, actually, I am following religiously Lord Mahavir and Lord Krishna. Say to all of us, you, Priyanka, me, and everyone on this planet, you know, we are being given three choices. Either you can be a gold, or you can be ornament, or you can be innovator. And I have chosen, like Lord Krishna said, I have chosen the path of being innovator. Jab, during the war, Lord Krishna himself as might have used Sudarshan Chakra, but instead he asked Arjun to play the role, and that's what I'm doing. I want to convert gold into ornament. I don't want to remain in a longer like a gold, or I don't want to be ornament like necklace or engagement ring or bangle or किसी के पैर की पायल मुझे नहीं बनना है. I want to create ornament out of the life of somebody, and that's what I'm doing. See, uh, I must tell you one inside story for what I'm doing for last 10, 11 years. Um, when I'm having a privilege, honored, grace, grace of God, and 360 degree, I am placed by countless known and unknown places globally. When I started Rajiv, this is very important incident I'm sharing with you. When I started speaking in December 1997 with this device, people were running away from me because they have never heard such kind of voice. They were scared, and I am grateful, and I express my gratitude by joining more than to all of them because when they ran away scared, that was a challenging situation for me. I have accepted the challenge, and as I said earlier, that जो बोलता है वही बिकता है, and again I am from a marketing side. अगर if I won't speak, what about my business? What about my family? What about financial stability? And that was our turning point in December 1997. And since then, yes, for 10 years, I was looking after all my business. But in 2011, I realized that now it is a time to change the word shape. That is the two different letters in one word: cancer, CNCER, and CNCEL. So I decided, it is again God's grace, I decided that I want to eliminate the word L from R. That means cancer is definitely not end of the life. It is beginning of the new chapter, beginning of the new life. On the contrary, मैं मेरी बात करूँ, अब अभी आज समझ लीजिए आपके पास में TCS की स्क्रीन है, and every year you are getting one-to-one bonus. तो आपको न जो ओरिजिनल शेयर है ना उसकी वैल्यू नहीं है, आपको जो बोनस मिलता है ना उसकी वैल्यू. I have the same thing every year. This is my 25th year, and I am getting bonus year after year. So this bonus is invaluable. इसका कोई मोल नहीं है, and it's like this. And so I have decided to touch the lives of cancer patients, caregivers, and so on. एक बात देखिए, when the cancer specialist is telling to the patient that you are diagnosed with the stage 1, 2, 3, 4 cancer, so immediately a smile will happen in the end. Oh my God, probably he can see the end of the life on the other end, and that's what I am doing. I am committed to eliminate later L from cancer, and I want people to get survived and lead quality life. Fortunately, I could inspire, I could motivate, I could touch at least 40,000 individuals on one-to-one basis through my live talk shows, mentoring, coaching, and digital and online talk, in-person talk shows, and counseling through phone. And this is what I've been doing for last 10 years. This is my 11th year.
While you said a lot, the only thing I could hear is I choose. And what I think you chose was resilience. That whatever that has been offered has been taken with folded arms and has been, and not only does it make you, and so I would say it's not a story that we are talking about surviving. I think it's a story of thriving. I think it's the story which starts with the special circumstances that God bestowed. And how we thrive is really what makes us own the future. So I'm so grateful for you having spared the time with us. And I don't know how many people would have said it, but I'm very thankful for you for having made that choice and having uh, individually either counseled or spoken to people who are struggling. I am also grateful that you bring out the point of not just the person who's struggling, but those around him as well. It takes a lot of experience to say that we'll talk to cancer survivors or people who thrive with that issue, but we will also talk to their caregivers because they suffer with them. Ask anybody who's struggling with a medical issue, and then ask their family members because they struggle as well. And it takes a lot of courage to do what you are doing. So we should take this moment and thank you for the selfless work that you offer to this world. And that's how we can talk about owning futures.
Uh, you very recently mentioned about caregivers. Let's not forget that life of any patient, forget about cancer, any disease, life of any patient is incomplete without caregiver. Number one. Number two, along with the patient, caregiver himself or caregiver herself is living in the trauma because they really don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. And that is the biggest fear ever. And that's what I'm doing. I am advocating for freedom from fear because unless you are not courageous, you cannot move on, you cannot take rational decision, you cannot perform. It can be disaster socially, financially, personally, and in each and every respect. And that's what I am trying to address using this voice. And one more thing I would like to add here: during the pandemic phase alone, in 18 months I have delivered more than 150 talk shows and interviews, and more are getting lined up. So, and let's, see, for me it is a fuel. For me it is like a V2 engine. And yes, I'm committed to expand my horizon like a 380, 300. I have four V2 engines. One is here, second is here, third is in my heart, and fourth in my gut. And all these four engines are interconnected that and that these engines are making me talk in front of you intellectual people.
Well, I love this. I really love this. The multi-powered four-stroke engine, right? And that's like so beautiful. And I can actually already visualize it. That how power packed this. I think Airbus 380 is no example for this. I think it's probably a supersonic jet which is going to take you around space at super speed. I think that's the power that you have. So A330 is like kids play. So don't even talk about A380, sir. It's too chota. So let's not
Uh,
talk about that.
I will adapt this. I will adapt this suggestion. My own means. Next session में I will talk about supersonic. लेकिन इसमें problem क्या है बताइए कि we if I will be speaking about supersonic, so people will feel like I am showing kind of a attitude और मुझे attitude नहीं दिखानी है. I want to be a simple training whatever.
No, no, it's not about attitude at all here. It's about the power that you generate, right? It is who you can carry along with you. It's who you can carry along to where with you. It has got nothing to do with being attitude here. The supersonic speed and the supersonic power is to generate, to carry along more people furthermore to the farthest places. That's where the energy is all about, sir. It's not about anything else. So I just want to also clarify about that energy that is sort of talking about it. And in the same piece, you talked about sound of silence. And I just loved that, right? And somewhere even now you just now spoke about freedom from fear, and I completely understand where and what it means from a caregiver perspective, from a patient perspective. Let's come to a very powerful line that you use, sound of silence. Just tell us more about it as to what's the genesis of this. What do you what is on your mind when you say sound of silence? I think it's something that I'm very curious to know about.
Well, um, actually, I would like to explain this in a bit different manner. See, officially, I have two spouses. Officially, one is my wife, and this is the another one. At times, my wife will let me speak, but without this, I cannot speak, and I have to all this spouse on my companion all the time whenever I have to speak. So this is the entire magic of sound of silence, and see, one thing is very simple, and again I'm using the same word acceptance. Without this device, I am like a sound of silence, no communication, no talk, nothing. But with this device, and one more thing I would like to add here, that there are too many vocal cord cancer patients, survivors across the world. Every day they are undergoing surgery, and you know what? They say, I am not a doctor. I'm not going to be a doctor in this life, but my video, my video are being shown to those patients that look, this is how you are able to speak after the surgery. So for me, this is the tremendous, huge privilege that cancer specialist showing my videos to the patients. So, and once they see this video, they get a spark. They get a spark that yes, I can survive. They can get spark in two manners. Number one, I can survive, so there is a hope. And second, I can speak. I mean, my life is not going to end anyway. So these are a couple of things through my talk shows, my videos, and uh, counseling, and that more tragedy just because of what I'm able to do it with this voice, and especially when you talked about sound of silence, that sound of silence and this unique voice brought me Patient Leader Hero Award. I am the only Indian awarded in US for the global advocacy activities out of 21,000 nominations. a small man, a small version from Ahmedabad, is shining somewhere else in the world.
I think
Or
something that shines in that silence is also your book. I'd love to hear and listen to you regarding the words that you put in your book and what is it trying to convey. I think it's called Shehenshah, if I'm not wrong.
that's right. Before when people censor, I want to show you two posters like how censor got born or how censor got published.
There's a beautiful life in chance, it says.
Yeah, that is a beautiful life even after cancer.
Ah,
Is it visible now?
Yes, it is.
yes,
Yes, it is.
yes, yes.
So this was the poster 2015, and after counseling too many talk shows,
You're on mute.
It says thrilling life after cancer. Interesting.
so the this 20 the first poster was from 2015, and the second one was for the last year 2020, and the combination of these 5 years, the journey of 5 years as an innovator, as a global influencer, as an inspirational speaker, mentor, or whatever you say.
Shehenshah. Okay, that's the story.
So that is the biography, and I would like you to know this story about Sancha. The author is from Delhi, Jesuit Singh Dangi. Believe me, we never met in person. I got a friend in Delhi again, Ravindra. He spoke about my journey to Jesuit, and we had about 30 minutes communication through video call, and he said, Shrenik sir, I want to write your biography, and I could not deny, and the title was chosen by him. I said no in the first place. I told him that this is not going to be a good title as a cancer survivor. So he told me that if you are not going to accept this title, I am not going to write your biography. And so, well, I get to accept because I'm committed to make difference, quality value addition the world over.
Interesting. I think you've spoken about the way that you sort of chose to have your biography written and presented as Shahanshah. Uh, and you've also been speaking about the fact that in the pandemic and the post-pandemic, during the pandemic, you've been sort of doing a lot of online talk shows. You've been engaging with a lot of people, and you more than 40,000 people that you have sort of reached out to. What, in your experience, has digital medium, online medium, played a role in your uh, sort of intent to spread this voice further? So how has that been instrumental in it? What have been your successes with that? What do you think could have gone better there?
Rajiv, somebody's digital medium, be it internet or whatever, including all social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and WhatsApp. You know, these are, I mean, say using or you're using one word, incredible is not enough. I'm saying again, this digital media incredible word is not enough. It is beyond incredible because the things are getting easier. I mean, well, we are communicating here without lots of time. We can manage things in no time. I mean, you send a message and today it reaches New York, Australia, or anywhere in the world in no time. And the best is communication and being a vocal. I mean, yeah, without digital media, probably whatever I could manage to achieve, I would have not been able to do it. So, internet or digital, these are, I mean, I would say kind of par excellence. Par excellence. I mean, that is no substitute to anything. You can manage things within the time frame. You need not have to travel. You can save money. You
So
can
true.
save the stress.
I think my life's work revolves around everything internet, and and you kind of verified that experience, which I would otherwise keep to myself. That it's just common sense. I started working with digital and this medium almost 10 years back. So when I tried to opt for non-digital formats, it became a challenge. It was difficult to explain to people why uh, working freelance with people from across the world was so simple, and why it was common sense to do it. It took an event like COVID for people to start understanding that this is a medium through which we can communicate, we can get work done, and we can amplify the message that we carry to the world. So our experiences on that account seem very similar.
Absolutely, and that's, I mean, apart from speaking, Zoom meeting,
Yeah,
nowadays surgeries are performed using this digital media,
yeah,
and this is, I mean, impossible. I mean, you are saving valuable time
yeah,
using digital media, advising, counseling. Doctors are giving support to the patient simply over a video call. So I don't think there is any alternate as of now of digital media.
yeah.
So and I must compliment you, Priyanka, for whatever you are doing with the help of digital media. I must compliment you, congratulate you. You are adding super value in the lives of many, be it professionally, be it socially, and even in personally.
So much. So, what would be the three things that Priyanka, should always remember that I should take from your life's journey? What are three things that you would tell me to always remember? And me, of course, and for the digital reason of it, it will benefit everybody who hears you. That what would be the three things that I should always keep close to me?
Uh, I would recommend, or rather, I would strongly recommend, suggest on the basis of one point that this world is like a Formula One race. Everybody is on the mark to fly to touch the other side of the planet, and in doing so, they are, of course, the current. brand current demand of being into multitasking, but imagine it is like a horse race. You cannot ride 10 horses at a time. You can ride only one horse, and then you can win the battle. So same with the case, even in professional journey, that if you are into multitasking, there are all good chances that out of 10 you might miss 4, 5, 6, 7, or maybe 9, and you are nowhere. And let's not forget that people beside you are just waiting to grab the opportunity. The moment you are out, somebody is going to take away that opportunity 1000%, because everybody wants to place the mark. Everybody wants to achieve the goal, accomplish the goal, accomplishing the target. So uh, I'm not denying the uh, I'm not denying multitasking, but being focused, being laser focus is the important aspect in the life. That and then you can make things possible.
Yeah, I think it's so insightful, razor sharp, laser focus, and it's actually the the center of any successful individual or a successful business. The moment you get a laser sharp focus, whether it is on your customers or it is on your target group or on the product that you have to bring to market, success is bound to happen. And I think that's a very valid start point, as you
I
said in
think
the
I want
beginning.
to add something to the list that we just curated. I want to add laser focus on the skill that you bring to the table. And what is that one value or skill or one mission that you live by? And that you can live by as freelance work, as part of an organization. And I think that will also kind of extend to home environment, that what is that one value that you live by, and what is that one skill that you make sure that you will not compromise with.
I can say that in a one sentence: timely, quality, deliverables. Timely, quality, deliverables. If you can focus on this, then they get success or results or fruits. That these are the parts, but at least you are giving justice. You are giving justice to yourself. That yes, I did all my best, and एक बार आप once you start putting on efforts, ऊपर वाला भी है ना सब देखता रहता है. मैं आपको एक छोटा एग्जांपल I would like to share in relation to, I mean, last few minutes conversation. Imagine MS Dhoni is playing World Cup. There is only one ball is left over. Either you lose the game or you win the game, and you need 4 runs. And the bowler on the other side is committed to bowl you out, because this is the captain advice. Now that bouncer ball, if Dhoni will be, remember the word, if that bouncer ball, if he can convert this bouncer into six, World Cup is World Cup belongs to India, and that is all life is all about. 20 life is full of cricket match like 2020. You never know what will be the next ball towards you. You have your head, you have your eyes, you have your heart, you have your gut, and your brain. But utilizing it in a proper way, then and then you can eat the bouncer into six, and you can bring a World Cup to the India.
I really appreciate you having shared these little anecdotes. They help you remember the values that you want us to carry. Rajiv, your last words before I close.
Yeah, I think it's been such an engrossing and enthralling. I think so. It's been about already close to about an hour, and it looks like as if we have so much more to talk about, so much more to sort of share. Uh, I'm taking away from this two very important messages. The first one is the fact that the whole idea about canceling the word L out of cancer. I think that's something which is so important. That life beyond cancer is livable as long as you have an intent to do that. I think that's one very, very important message that I see coming out of this conversation. And the second is, and I'll go back to something which I started with. It says that it is not about success or failure, it's about courage to come back again through resilience, through commitment to yourself, to making the choices that you're willing to own up to. And I think it's so powerful to recognize that it's easier said than done. And through your sharing of your life, sharing of your journey, sharing of your experiences, you've just exemplified that. So thank you very much for sparing your time, your sharing your voice, the sound of silence, helping people run away from the fear of freedom. I think all of that is so very powerful and so very useful that I really appreciate all that you do. Uh, Wish and pray for your good health, your success, and more power to you in everything that you choose to do. I think that's probably something that's so very critical and important. Your last words, Mr. Shrenik Shah, in terms of what's been your experience like being on this show with us today? How has it been like? We would love to hear that from you.
Only one, only one word: joining two ends and gratitude.
Thank you very much for the wonderful time that you spent with us. And we look forward to meeting you again soon on another show.
Thank you so much. I'll close the broadcast.